Hey everybody. I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and start doing a live video series. I've been wanting to do this for a while and I just never quite got around to it. I actually have artwork done for it and everything and I just didn't get to it. But yeah, I'm going to do it as part of my morning routine and just talk briefly about what's going on with stuff. One thing that you're probably, just to give some context on where this is coming from. So you can see here that it's 6:03 in the morning. Um, I have been rereading. This is my third time through. I think the book, The Miracle Morning, and so I've been up for about an hour. I did some meditation. I read my affirmations. Did some visioning. I'm about to go work out, but I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in and do some. The last one is scribing or journaling, and I'm going to do a video version. I'm also going to write in my journal, but it's probably just going to be a page that kind of sums up what I'm thinking about these days. But anyway, so yeah, so the idea behind this is basically to talk about just what's going on with life and just kind of do a 5 or 10 minute check in. People who listen to the other shows might be interested in this because I'm probably going to talk about the business of running podcasts as much as anything else. So it just depends on what the important stuff is and what I'm dealing with. So anyway, yeah, so let's just dive right into this. The things that I've been dealing with most recently, the main hang up that I've been trying to fix is that we have been behind on releasing podcast episodes. And some of the folks that listen to the podcast probably have noticed that we haven't been super consistent after about May. And in fact, we had issues getting them out on time before that. And the issues basically stemmed from um, and there was a little bit of drama around this, but when I let Mandy go back in August, I hired a new company. The drama was around letting Mandy go, and I messed some stuff up there, but I'm not going to dig into it here. Um, I hired a company to do the podcast editing for the shows on devchat.tv, and they kept leaving things in that needed to be edited out. They wouldn't get things necessarily released on time. Anyway, it was a big hassle. And so in December, I switched companies. I had somebody say, well, why are you using them? Why don't you use this other company that's run by this other person that's also a friend of mine? Incidentally, I didn't know at the time, but the company I hired was run by somebody I knew. So I switched over to this other company and started doing things their way. And um, the snafus of things left in the episodes definitely went down and the quality of editing went up, but the release scheduling didn't get solved. It was still a problem. So yeah, anyway, so I finally got tired of those issues, and in May I told them that they were done at the end of May. And what wound up happening with them is they basically, even though I had paid for podcast episodes to be released, as soon as May 31st happened, they quit editing everything and just dropped everything. And so I didn't get what I paid for, which is neither here nor there, and I'm not going to go fight over it with them. I'm pretty sure that the guy who owns that company would make it right, but I don't want to deal with it anymore. So anyway, I started hiring people. And the first thing I did was I went on Upwork and I hired about 9 people. And then I hired the guy that does the editing for Entre Programmers podcast. And I gave them all an audio file and let them edit it and just to see what they would come back with. And um, they all came back, and it turned out the guy that does Entre Programmers podcast is the person that I wound up hiring, and he's been doing a terrific job. He's been getting all of the episodes done in plenty of time to get the show notes done. But for whatever reason, we started out behind. I think that was part of the problem. But then for whatever reason, we just couldn't ever get caught up. And so I had episodes sitting, waiting to be released. And so finally last night, I got on the group of people who have been working on the show notes, and I said, look, we've got to get this week's episodes done. A lot of these were supposed to be released on Tuesday and Wednesday, and they haven't been. Today is Thursday. As I'm recording this, today is Friday. But when I was telling them this, hey, today's Thursday, let's get this done. And so they went in and just busted it out. I actually did show notes for a couple of episodes just to get it done. So as of right now, we are caught up on show notes, with the exception of I have to finish up show notes for episode 271 of JavaScript Jabber, um, and that was because the guy that was doing it just couldn't quite finish it last night. I think he does quite a thorough job. So, um, yeah, he put in a few hours and just didn't quite get it done. So anyway, he said he was about halfway done. I'm going to jump in and just finish it up, get it released, and it's going to be then we're caught up. And then what I did is, so the way that I've kind of done management to date, and I think this is the part that might help other people who are trying to run a small business or manage people, was essentially just to say, hey, get all the show notes done. And what I've changed is I basically went to my folks and I said, look, how many episodes can I count on for you for a week? And one of the people who works for me, Kirsten, who's been doing a terrific job, to be honest, and has released a ton of episodes and got us much closer to getting caught up than anyone else really had. She said that she could handle 5 or 6 episodes per week. And so I basically said, okay, well, then I'm going to assign you the shows that currently have sponsors, or for whatever reason have some kind of release schedule that needs to be managed. And so she's going to be doing the show notes for JavaScript Jabber, Ruby Rogues, Adventures in Angular, Freelancer Show, and iFreaks. That means that I still have show notes that need to be done for my Ruby story, my JavaScript story, and my Angular story. And so, I reached out to the other folks. Another guy that's been working for me is Zach, and he's the one that got JavaScript Jabber halfway there. But he has other clients, and just because he has a lot of work and then maybe not a lot of work, he's not consistent about being able to do the show notes every week. So I'm probably not going to use him to do show notes going forward, and he knows this. And it's just the nature of what I need done. He's done a terrific job otherwise, but I need somebody who can reliably deliver every week. And he's doing other work for other people that's more in line with what he wants to do long term for a living. So I don't blame him, but it's also the reality that the way that he can put in time doesn't work for me. So anyway, I need to find somebody to do those other 3 episodes. I'm actually meeting somebody today who's attending a coding boot camp. And I'm hoping he can pick up an episode or 2. I also have Joanne in the Philippines, who seems to be able to do an episode or 2 on the weekend. And so I'm pulling that together. I also just decided that the transcripts, which I've done for a long time for the shows, at this point, it's more important to me to get the shows released with show notes than it is for me to have transcripts. So I have bagged the transcripts for now. And I'm trying to decide how much value there is in that. So what I may do in the future is I may just pay somebody to, kind of blitz and transcribe all of the episodes that don't have transcripts at that point. Probably be in a few months. I may even do like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo so people can just pay for them if they want them. And then if they don't want them, then I don't get paid to get them done. And, that's, then I won't do them. Which may be an indicator to me one way or the other. If people find them highly valuable, then I don't have a problem doing them, but they do cost money, and they're another step in the process. And so the other thing that I would have to do is I would have to get the editing another week in advance just to make sure that the transcriptionists have plenty of time to get those episodes done. But yeah, so at this point, I'm following a process, and I'm making people responsible for specific outcomes. And I'm finding that is really the thing that is making this kick into gear and get going. So if you're out there and you're trying to figure out how to get people motivated to do the thing that you need done, then that's the way to go. And some people are self-managed and they just do it, like Eric. I didn't give him a specific outcome, though I'm pretty sure that if he hadn't had episodes edited in time to get the show notes done, I probably would have had words. And I think he knows, that was kind of the expectation. So maybe his deadlines were a little bit, more stringent than the others because they were relying on him. But yeah, So I put people in charge of a specific outcome and gave them a process, and we're pulling the trigger. And so we're going to add other steps to the process going forward. But yeah, anyway, it's just been really interesting to see how this all works out. So yeah, so that's my daily lasagna for the day. I did name this show the Daily Lasagna. I should give you a little bit of background there. Um, there were a couple of things. One, I was looking at doing a daily show, and I didn't want it to be focused on a particular technology or anything. So I wasn't going to call it something like Ruby Rogues or something, or Ruby Daily or anything like that. Um, and I was on a freelancer show episode, and somebody mentioned that you should name your course or show or something about something you do well. And I really enjoy cooking. I actually lived in Italy for 2 years as a Mormon missionary, and learned how to cook various things the way the Italians do it, which may or may not be the way that you do it if you cook Italian food here in the States. But anyway, I picked up one of the things I picked up was just how to make lasagna. And then I modified the recipe because there are certain kinds of things that I like in my lasagna. And so I kind of have this specialized dish. Um, I should make it for a bunch of listeners sometime. But anyway, I would have to borrow somebody's kitchen. Anyway, so yeah, so I was like, okay, well, Daily Lasagna, that's kind of a fun name. And, lasagna kind of has a lot of things in it, a lot of layers to it, kind of like life. And so that's why I came up with the name. So anyway, this is the Daily Lasagna episode 1, and I'm just talking about this particular aspect. I will probably dive into spirituality. My particular spirituality, I'm a practicing Mormon. I'll probably dive into politics to a certain degree. I'm really going to try not to complain about the things that I don't like. I'm probably going to try and give actionable advice and just talk about what I'm doing to be a better person. But anyway, um, yeah, just the other call out. I'm doing this as part of my Miracle Morning, so I'll probably be mentioning that on a regular basis. And yeah, um, if you're watching this live, I don't think there are any viewers, but if you're watching this live, then feel free to also check out Entre Programmers podcast. We do that one live at 10 a.m. Mountain Time or 12 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube Live. And so if you go over to the Entre Programmers channel, then you can actually watch us talk about our businesses and stuff live. And there are a few other things. This will be one of the things that I talk about on there, I'm pretty sure. But there are some other things that I will probably bring up over there that I'll be talking about over the next week. So anyway, yeah, I don't know if I have anything else that I'm going to add, so I'll go ahead and wrap. But go out there and be the kind of person you want to be. And I'll talk to you. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this on the weekend, so it'll be either tomorrow or Monday. But have a great one.